Hey everyone, it's Zach with Palantir Research. The UK government puts out an official FDP contract details on their website, as well as contract values, while we also get some questions on Palantir's business mix. So looking at the stock first briefly, we've got that holiday trading low with lower volatility and price movement for Palantir this morning. Now, news-wise, over the weekend, there was an interesting article on the Motley Fool that came out relating to Palantir's mix of revenue of government versus commercial. Now, honestly, this was not groundbreaking or new or eye-opening in my own opinion, but that's from someone closely following the company. This has been a narrative that's been played out and flip-flopped, honestly, over in the past with, Palantir's too dependent on government revenue, and when it slows down, it's going to hurt the company. But what I do like is when they save us some time and work with a nice breakdown of numbers and graphs, and you can verify this yourself, of course, on each of the earnings presentations since they break down commercial versus government. And this is not just U.S. commercial and U.S. government, just so you know. So as a company over time, you can see that obviously both pieces of the pie are growing, but commercial, starting from a smaller base, of course, has been growing slightly faster here. Now, there are quarterly numbers, and let's just take a look first at the versus of the last quarter on this graph versus the first one. And commercial has grown by $76 million in a quarter, or 43% from 2 years ago. Now, government has grown by $89 million, or 41%. So yeah, that difference there is very, very slight. So there has been in their growth rates when compared over the 2-year period, that difference. But we've still pretty much came down to 45% versus 55% for that ratio of commercial to government. And that's back from September 2021 until today with the latest results. And even if with rounding, right, it's exactly the same. So you can be happy, mad, or sad depending on how you look at this. But I'm still leaning towards commercial being the larger growth engine in the near future, at least. And this split in revenue being neutral, of course, right now. Now, another cool chart that they also provided below was for each quarter. They showed the quarter-over-quarter growth. And this is very telling here because you can actually see that lumpiness, even though for government that's known, but it seems to be playing a role as well on the commercial side for Palantir's business. And we're hoping this trend breaks for commercial with AIP boot camps being talked up by management, but that's yet to be proven at this point, at least in time. Plus, that volatility in growth shows that this 45-55 split, though still leaning towards on the government side, helps each other out. I think right now there is no clear imbalance, honestly. They're kind of close. You're close to 50% at this point between the two, but rather this diversification in business opportunity on both ends shows that Palantir is beginning to spread its wings more reliably on the commercial side. Now, the juiciest news today is we finally get some answers from the UK government officially regarding Palantir's contract award. Now, everyone will notice the headline here saying for the FDP and associated services, the value of the contract is only for £180 million as seen here. So that's slightly over half of that $330 million we saw in the contract here that they awarded out in that original article. But please note, first of all, this is not over 7 years as well, which was in that original article too from NHS England. This is from November 2023 to February 2027, which is around 3 years and 4 months, so a little under half of that time frame here. Now, the interesting part is under the description, the contract amount is not committed because as we've been informed in the past, this is a pay-as-they-use model here. So if the NHS doesn't want to use certain services or they deem it's not important anymore outlined in their contracts, Palantir won't do that work, nor will they get paid for it. But also it could increase from that 182 here up to that 330 million pounds, which the also note is not committed. So in the end, we don't get an exact amount, unfortunately, but it's nice to see something finally posted after a month here on their government contracting website. But unfortunately, as we've seen, we don't know the actual contract value for Palantir with the NHS, but it seems safe to say at this point that the 330 million pounds is the true 7-year-ish max amount, and no more of that 480 million pounds or the 360 plus 60 for additional years that was originally passed before. But it's nice to get that information, as I've said. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.